Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited to be here in Escape Estate. This Minecraft world is going to blow your mind. Now, students, you are in for a real treat. This world is amazing. Maybe I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Emma Cotier. I'm from Victoria, British Columbia. I'll be your guide today. I'll also be doing some shout outs today. Stay tuned for that. I also have my friend Dan, who is amazing at Minecraft. Dan.
Hi, thanks, Emma. My name's Dan Noble. I am a Minecraft mentor, and I'm also a full-time Minecraft consultant and Minecraft education consultant. So I do lots of fun, cool things. And currently I'm located in Dumfries, Scotland, and my pronouns are he and him.
Awesome. Well, our plan today is you're going to have some really cool challenges, but you're going to get to meet a Minecrafter, and we have a really kind of neat escape room. And your challenge today will be to escape Dr. Brakowski's estate, and we're specifically focusing on the yellow path and doing some block-based coding today. And of course, we're going to have some time to reflect on our adventure because it's just really cool. Now, sorry, go ahead,
Sorry,
Dan.
just 1 second. We're both Emma and I are from the extended team at the awesome Cobblestone Collective, and you might ask what the Cobblestone Collective is. So we're a team of current and former educators who support students, teachers, and school districts to effectively integrate technology to support learning through professional development, workshops, and co-taught lessons, just like this one.
Perfect. No, thanks, Dan. So teachers, students, we just want to remind you that you can pause this lesson at any time. If your students need more time to get logged in or more time to load up the world, just a reminder, we're on YouTube Live. So you can pause it, rewind it, check it out. There is, like I said, some really neat things in this world that you might want to go back and check it out again. Now, a little warning before we begin that you can see and hear us, but we can't see and hear you. But that doesn't mean we want to hear from you. We have a way that you can interact with us in a new tab. So don't close this one off, but in a new tab on your device, if you type in the cc.page/Minecraft, you can interact with us. You will also have an opportunity to ask our Minecraft a question. But we have a question to get started in this form. So again, it's the cc.page/Minecraft. But we want to know, is this your first time coding in Minecraft Education Edition? So if you let us know if you are diving in for the very first time. And let us know just your first name only. That's all we need to know, just your first name. We're never going to use last names or any specific schools. So just let us know your first name. We'd love to hear from you. I do know already that we have an Audrey, an Andrea, a Cheyenne, a Josiah joining us. So welcome. Keep us posted. I will confess, this is not Dan's first time in Minecraft today. Dan is more of an expert than me, but I do love it. And of course, you're going to hear from a Minecrafter. And Oliver has coded a lot in Minecraft, and they love it. It's fun. That's great. We have William and Aaliyah and Sanjaya. We have a few no's. I love actually how a few of you are brand new to Minecraft today because we just love blowing your minds. So if you are brand new, that is totally great. Dan and I have you, so not to worry. And Karen, we have Miss C. Not much. That's okay. Not too long ago, I was brand new to Minecraft too. So Summer and Kyrie, welcome. Nathan, glad you've been able to check out Minecraft EDU before. Dan, is there a few pathways connected to this world?
Yes, there are. So there's a green, there's a yellow, and a red, and through where you're connected, you can select the green, the yellow, or the red, depending on where your comfort level is. If you haven't played Minecraft and you haven't done coding before, then the green option, might be more fun for you than the red, which is the super hard.
Perfect. And we'll just remind the students that these options for the different pathways are below the video. So if you are curious in the other pathways, again, we're going to be doing yellow today. But if you are curious in the green or the red, the links are directly below this video. There's some resources in there. And teachers, if you're getting stuck, and it's okay to get stuck, I have my own personal story that I'll share about in this world. I got stuck on something that I thought was silly, even though it wasn't silly. But there is a solution guide for teachers as well below the video. So don't worry, we have all the supports in place to help you. And I do want to give a little, just one more shout out to Lucas, because I love Lucas's approach to Minecraft. He says, I haven't done it before, but I'm happy to. And I just love that positive approach to like, I haven't done it before, but I'm going to be open-minded and I'm going to give it a try. So with that in mind, who is ready to begin today? Who is ready to check out this world? I know I'm ready. I'm really excited. So we, in just a minute, are going to meet a Minecrafter. Dan, can you believe that we're going to get to meet a Minecrafter and actually the designer of this world? Like, students, so cool. So I would like to introduce Colton Phillips. He is from Redmond, Washington. He is the game designer of this escape. So Colton, Cole,
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Now, Cole, we have some questions, and I know the students are going to have some questions too. But one question has already come in for you. That's just showing how excited the students are already. But the burning question is, Cole, how... Oh, actually, Cole, do you want to say hello first, and then we'll dive into these questions? I'm just getting really excited. So, Cole, say hello.
Hi, I'm Cole Phillips, game designer on the Minecraft education team. I help design content, which is the things you play, such as this world and others, and features such as like what's a feature like chemistry inside Minecraft, or if there was a new tool or block, things like that. Those would be considered features. So that's what I do over there.
Cole, I'm sure I speak for students all across Canada and beyond that you have the dream job. I teach grade 8, and they will remind me all the time that, Cole, you have a dream job. So a question we have, students, in the form, remember the cc.page/Minecraft, is, have you ever completed an escape room? So let us know in the form, and maybe whilst those responses are coming in, we have a question from Inaya, and I hope I'm saying that right. Is there any kind of specific training or school training that you did in order to get this really cool job that you have?
Yeah, well, there's several ways to get into the game industry. My path was through art, but there's paths through like technology. There's paths through engineering. Like you could be a coder, you could be an artist, you could be a sound designer, a producer, which is more management skills. My personal path, especially coming up, there wasn't a lot of schools or for game design. So I actually thought I was going to work in the film industry. I was doing like digital effects and met some video game people at a movie little premiere I worked on, and so they invited me over, and I started working at that guy's studio as an artist. And so yeah, I was an artist. That was my path. So in school, I did I went to I never went to like a university, just local colleges for me. But I did go to take everything I was taking. Well, not everything. I took general ed too, but the stuff I was working toward was all art. So I had taken a lot of life drawing, a lot of anything that would help me, because originally I was hoping to be an animator. So
I love that, Cole. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think a real good lesson for students is to really explore your passions, because you never know who you might connect to, and you never know where your pathway may lead. And Cole, have you ever done an escape room?
I have. I've done. I've done several actually. Some pretty cool ones. All in just the last 5 years or so. Done some cool ones with my team. Done some pretty cool ones with my family. And I've made a few in Minecraft. So uh, maybe someday the world will see my secret escape rooms.
Ooh,
Looking
you
forward
never
to it.
know. Stay tuned for more escape room amazingness from Cole. So stay tuned, students. You've heard it there. There could be more brewing up from Cole. We do have a Sophie who's actually never coded before, which is great. We'll leave you for there. Jazz has done some escape rooms before. We have a Lauren and a Christian who has Mrs. Gask, and I hope I'm saying your name right, is new to digital escape rooms. So this is going to be a total game changer. And students, we have another question, and this is going to come up today in the escape room because we're going to practice it. But the question we have for you, what does it mean to debug? And Cole, do you want to maybe kick us off with that? Because that probably happens a lot in kind of your day-to-day. So what does it mean to debug something?
Well, in my line of work, debugging is usually figuring out figuring out how something went wrong through trial and error. I guess you don't really debug something if it's not buggy, right? So I think bug is a little computer term. I don't know actually where it started, but some sort of breakdown. So since I don't actually code and use debugging that way, the way I do it is usually like through a mechanic I make. So if something doesn't work, when you work with a lot of these Minecraft files, there's a lot of mechanics in the background, and they don't always work together really well. So what I try to do is figure out, starting from where I'm trying to get to, like where I ended up, and work backward. That's usually how I debug. But yeah, and you just go through the steps and process elimination and try to figure out what's going wrong. And unfortunately, it's usually this real obvious thing, at least in my work, but not always. Sometimes it is a hard problem, and you really have to put in some mental powers to fix it. And other times it's just like, oh man, I can't believe I overlooked that. But it is kind of I guess to sum it up, it is just like problem solving, right? It's trying to fix something and having a good, in my point of view, a good system of how to do that. And I think a lot of that comes with experience, but I think you could probably learn techniques that would help you too.
Thanks, Cole, and thanks for sharing it. It never hurts to, flex your big brain muscle. So it's always good to have that, creative and critical thinking. Dan, what do you think it means to debug something?
So as Cole said, it's problem solving, and typically in my numerous careers, I've used debugging processes through a lot of different things, whether it be in my previous career as an IT professional, where I was looking at scripts and trying to find bugs that routinely I have made through that process, or applying that same logic to looking at other people's work. Yeah, that's typically something that I do if I am working with a team and we're developing scripts for something. We'll throw them back at each other to test and make sure that we haven't missed anything critical. Or I'll say, hey, you know what? I've done something wrong here. It's not working. Can you look at it? And I'll have a friend look at it. And as Cole mentioned, like typically it can be something very easy. Like you've just missed out one little syntax character, or you've duplicated a line, or it's something very, very simple. So a fresh set of eyes on it will often find it very, very quickly. Likewise, what I'll do is I'll walk away from the problem for a while, get a drink of water, get a walk in, clear my brain, come back, look at it fresh, and it'll be staring at me right at the screen. And yeah, these days I mean I use debugging in real life or in Minecraft worlds that I'm doing. So it's a good skill to develop because it is cross-platform.
Yeah, it's an amazing skill to have. We have some really great responses that have come in through the forum. Nika says, "I think debugging needs to change something in the code to try and get rid of the bug," and actually, that's what we're going to do today. Well, maybe I shouldn't give any spoilers, but stay tuned, Nika. We also have Brinley is to get rid of the non-working parts, and I think that's the beauty. And where sometimes you just try out different things and see what works, and we'll make adjustments throughout. And Yamini is to remove errors on a computer or software. So really great responses. Thank you, students. Keep using that form. And at this time, this doesn't happen every day. If you have a burning question for Cole, remember he is also the designer of this world. He gets to do Minecraft for a living. If you have a question for Cole, please let us know in the forum, and we're happy to ask Cole. Question I have, and I know a lot of the students have, is that have been in a Minecraft EDU world. Is how long does it take to create some of these worlds, Cole?
They can take some can take a year or more. I mean, if you look at if you there's some big stuff out there. There's projects I know of that have, like, especially community projects that have just been going on for years. When we create kind of this curated content like the hour of code, the pre-planning, I give it about a year for the thought from the idea to the final product. And construction wise, I mean, 6 to 9 months is always good. Throughout my career, I found that you can usually get projects done in around that time. So it's a lengthy process, and it's a lot of people. If it was just me making it, it would probably take 5 to 10 years. You guys would get one game, and then that'd be it. But luckily we have big teams, so a lot of people, many hands making work light, as I think.
And I'm sure Cole,
said.
Today, the students are just going to thank you for all the time that it takes to create these worlds. And a question from Jack is, do you work on Java or Bedrock?
I work on Bedrock because Minecraft Education Edition is based off of the Bedrock engine. Yep.
Oh, great question. And a question here from Emma Rose. Why did you make this Minecraft escape? Was there some inspiration for it, or maybe where the idea came from?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Well, we had a lot of ideas. So I'm guessing you mean thematically and not so much like why did we want to do a coding world, because the coding thing, we do the hour code every year, and it's a way to get people excited about coding. It's not so much a learn to code experience, but it's like I always say, it's not learn to code, it's get excited about code. And so I want people that have maybe never coded ever to see it, try it, and be excited about the possibilities. And so as far as the theme of it, we were discussing it internally, and we really like the idea of the escape room. Some of our inspiration, about making this kind of weird magical house is I call it safe spooky, but I like this kind of this kind of mysterious adventure, and what was that film? Was it Encanto? Was that what it was called, with the house? That was
right, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of a little bit of an inspiration that we had just watched that, and I was thinking, we were talking about how this house could transform. I don't want to give any real hardcore spoilers, but this game is set up in a way that if you keep playing it over and over again, you might notice that the next time you go into a room that you've already been into, it might look a little different, and that's the Encanto kind of part flavor to it. Is we wanted it to always feel new. And so you might play it, you might finish the game and then decide to play it again. Like you want to try out that red path. And you might notice that some of the rooms you went in look a little different. So keep your eyes open for that.
I
Yeah.
love the layers and layers of mystery, because it's really good for our observation skills too, to be looking out. We do have just 2 more questions, if you don't mind, Cole. One is for Morton's. It's from Morton's 4th grade gifted from Jacksonville, Florida. So welcome. Thanks for joining. Do you have a favorite part of your job?
Yeah. I mean, there's many things to love about it. There's many aspects I love. I think on the day-to-day, I love having the opportunity to come up with new ideas. Like it helps. I don't know. I feel like it just helps my brain work in general. I always have all these ideas kicking around, and the chance to get those thoughts out and make them become something real. These stories. I've always been a storyteller. My whole life, every medium, everything that I've ever been into, just was a part of that goal. I wanted to be a comic book artist. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to, everything was like, how do I tell a story in the mediums that I've mastered? And so being able to tell my story is my favorite part, but it's only rivaled with, and I hesitate to say it because it's going to sound cheesy, but it's honest, I swear. This is one of my favorite parts of the job. Because I've been in the game industry. I know. I told you, it sounds cheesy. It's like, I know, right? But I'm being honest, and I'll tell you why really quick. I know we're on the schedule, but I've been in the game industry for 20 plus years. Usually when you work on a game, you have this love, this passion for, like I said, the 9 months or whatever. It's like having a baby, right? You nurture it for this 9 month period. You give birth to it, and then you kick it out the door. And how people accept your child in the world, you may never know, right? There's reviews and stuff. Sometimes they're great, and you're like, "Oh man, I did awesome," and other times not so awesome, and people say some pretty mean things. But the thing I love about working on Minecraft is getting to see how it really affects people, and I get to see that on a day-to-day because I get to do stuff like this. I get to talk with the players, get their feedback directly, and I've never had that in my career until I came and worked on Minecraft. And then the fact that the education stuff is actually like so positively making a positive impact on the world. It's just, I never knew that was something I needed until I got it, right? And then once I got it, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. And I know, again, it sounds kind of cliche or whatever, but that is like kind of my real favorite part.
And Cole, we are so thankful that you can take this time out to join us today. It's not every day that I get to hang out with a real life Minecraft designer, and I know Dan is, like, we're both in awe. We're fanning over here. We're big idols. But we really,
you got my number. Give me a call, whatever.
Yeah, we just love it, and thank you for asking these student questions. And we cannot wait to check out your world. So students, please, thank you to Cole Phillips. Without him, we wouldn't have this world. And just know when you're exploring this world that we can thank you, Cole. So thank you so much. Students, get ready to dive into Cole's worlds.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Cole.
Awesome. Yep.
Cheers.
Take care. Yep.
All right, students. So we have met a Minecrafter. It is now time. We are going to be diving in to the escape room. Dr. Brachkowski's escape. A reminder that we are doing the yellow path. We're focusing on blocks today. And now is the time. It's under the new and featured, which is great. So when you load up Minecraft EDU on the devices, hopefully you already have it downloaded and ready to go. Click on new and featured. It will be in there under the hour of code. It'll say escape room. You'll see the really cool graphic there with the green and a few little hints. But that's where you'll want to click. So teachers, this might be a great time to do the create, You'll click on create world and it can take a couple minutes to load, and that's totally fine. So teachers, this is a really great time to just pause, make sure your students have it all up and loaded. No sign in is required. You can just click and you can just go. But maybe Dan, can you just quickly show us what we will look like? But if not, teachers, pause here so that we can make sure we're ready to go. Dan, you're okay. We are ready. Teachers, pause
Okay.
here and get ready to go into this escape room. So,
all right. So here we are. So yeah, you can click on that new and featured there, no login required, and you're right through and you can play Escape Estate.
perfect.
So here you get to choose whether you're going to use keyboard or touch controls. And I'm actually just going to quickly mention, if you haven't heard of it before, Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader is a really incredible accessibility tool that they've integrated into Minecraft. And if you click your little book icon button down here on an NPC, or if you're staring at a slate poster, a board, or a sign in Minecraft and you click your I button on your keyboard, it will open up the Immersive Reader experience. So basically, what this tool does is you can have this read back to you, and we can also change how it looks on the screen. I can increase the voice speed, I can change the voice selection, I can change the font size, I can change the background color. So it's all about making it easier for me to read, regardless of where or who I am. And we can highlight syllables, and we can also do line focus. This is really cool. Like if I have been reading stuff all day long, and my eyes are getting a wee bit tired, this will help me a lot. I can't say how amazing this is, and how many students and teachers I've seen use this, and really just, it's so amazing and it helps out so much. I can even change the language. So I can select a different language here, let's say French, for example. And if I click the document button, not only does it translate it into French for me to read it, but if my eyes are too tired and I don't want to read, I can click the play button and it will read it back to me in French, or any of the other languages I happen to pick. So it's absolutely amazing. I can't say enough wonderful things about it. When you want to get out of Immersive Reader, go up to the top left corner and click the arrow. Okay, so I'm going to move along here, and I'm using a keyboard. If you're using an iPad or an Android phone or an iPhone, you can click the touch controls. So it's just optimized for my device.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks for showing us that, and Dan, and thanks for showing us Immersive Reader. I love it. So you can see Dan's getting already in his world, and we hope that everyone joining us today is, got Escape Estate set up and ready to go.
Okay, so I'm just walking up to this poster here and I'm going to right click on it. So if you're on a Windows PC, that's just a right click on your mouse. If you're on a Chromebook, it's probably going to do what we call the snake bite, which is a 2-finger tap on your mouse pad, or you can alternatively hold down the control button and tap the mouse pad once, and that will do the same thing. And I always get it confused on iPads because I don't have an iPad anymore. So I always get a little bit confused whether it's, I think if you hold and tap, it's the same as a right click, and a short tap is your left click. Or it might be the other way around.
I'm just admiring this world, Dan. I hope students, you are too. Look at that. So students, we're just going to let you know this tutorial screen will pop up. We are skipping the tutorial for today, but just letting you know it is there. And you are more than welcome to pause at this point if you would like your student to do the tutorial. We won't be doing it in this live session today, but pause here if you want to check it out. It is available. All right, so our next steps will be to meet Dr. Brakowski and enter this state. You will look for a lost diary, and it's important to read it. And then, of course, we'll meet our agent and select our programming language. And again, we are using blocks today, but that doesn't mean that you can try something else. We'll just be focusing on blocks. Perfect. Ooh, look at that.
All right, here we go. So we've met Dr. Breakowski, and we're walking up to the house. That is pretty cool. I love that effect. Okay, so here we are in the room, and our first priority is to look for particles, breadcrumbs, and we've got a lost diary over here. So I'm gonna click on this, and okay, so I found the first diary page.
So students, it's great to read these boxes as they come up. They're going to give you little clues and help with your coding. But it says, however, when I arrived here, I was gobbled up by the mansion. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's the truth. I swear. When I came to, I found myself in this attic. There are 3 locked doors. One of them must be a way out. I just need to figure out how to open them. Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and actually, as Emma says, reading instructions is really important for any debugging. I mean, it's actually one of my big failings. I think it's because I've been in IT for 20 years, so I might look at something, oh, I know how to do that, and then I go ahead and just jump into it, and then I get lost. It's like, okay, I need to go back and read the instructions because I'm totally lost.
It's okay, Dan. I'm a manual kind of person. I get it. I read. So here, another one has come up. This is from agent. Says, hello, is someone there? Oh my, a human. Do you think you could help me? I can't seem to open this floor vent. I think that my code may be broken. Do you think you could take a look and see what's wrong with it? Ooh, okay.
Okay, so here we are going to pick blocks today. So I'm going to click blocks. Okay, so we need to move the cursor on the floor. It needs to move forward 3 blocks to reach the trap door, but it isn't working. Okay, so we're going to press the C button to start our code builder and see what's wrong.
All right, so
Okay.
Dan, maybe right now would be a really great time for students to make sure that you've selected your programming language. Again, we are doing blocks. But again, another day you could check out Python. But we want to just pause here. Make sure you choose your coding language, and then we'll check out more of the estate escape. And we would like you to follow the on-screen prompts and try to use your code agent to open and close the trap door. Remember to hit C for code. That is the big thing. C for code in order to move those blocks.
Okay. So particularly when I'm in Minecraft coding and I'm trying to figure my way out and I press C, I like to try to align where I'm standing so I can see the physical problem that I need to deal with, and then I have my coding up on the side here. And if you click this sandwich button, I think they call it, you can flip the window to one side or the other. So it helps you see where your problem is and you're coding at the same time. So let's see here. The box with the orange arrow. So our cursor is color coded. So orange moves to the left here. And in our toolbox at the side here, this is going to show us the code that we'll need for each specific problem. So it's not like the open code builder in regular Minecraft where you get all the different blocks. They are helping us here by just limiting it to what we need for each specific bugged issue.
Friends,
and also here, sorry, Emma, we have the hint light bulb. So if you do run into a problem and you're feeling a little frustrated, you can click on the hint and it will give you some hints as what you can do to help debug the issue.
Perfect. I was just going to let students know that those cursors, and it says it in the instructions as well, they're going to be used all throughout this estate escape to change the block. So play very special, careful attention. You only have an orange one in this one, but just take note of it for future ones. And you're going to use this cursor to try and open that trap door because currently the code is broken.
Okay, so I'm actually going to run the code as it exists right now, which I would do in real life if I was testing a code. I'd run it in a test environment to see what happened. And our code failed. The nice big little red circle and cross came up there to indicate that that did not work. Okay, so let's go back to press C to code, and we'll see what we can do here. So we need to move it. It's moving 2 now. So I can see by looking at it, this one's an easier one, that we just need to move it 3 to get that cursor over the trapdoor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dan, when I saw, your code moving, it looked like we were just 1 block short, I think. So that's
Right.
the great part about code. We can try out different things, and you'll have all your puzzle pieces there. And I love how they beautifully like click into each other. You can delete them, you can add to them. And you'll also notice that our coding block says on start today, and that connects to that green arrow in the bottom right. So Dan has adjusted his code from 2 to 3, and I love just trying things out. So Dan's going to run that code in a minute, and we'll see if adjusting that number makes a difference.
Okay, and what we can do also here is we can drag open trapdoor. We're going to want to open that trapdoor once our cursor is over it. So in our workspace here, if it's kind of see-through here, that means that it's not active. So I need to nest it inside the on start block. I can do that by clicking it, left clicking, dragging, and then dropping it over, and it'll click into place. If I've got extra code I don't want, I can always just grab it and drag it back here and throw it in the bin. Okay, so I've debugged my code, and I think it's going to work now. So I'm going to click the green button and see what happens. All right,
Woo!
We did the first one.
Celebrating! We opened the trap door. Maybe what we'll do, it says, just so you know, it says, great, it's open. That's strange. I still can't seem to get out. Can you check the code again and making sure I'm moving up to, oh, Dan, I guess we got to add to our code.
Yes. So we're going to code again. Actually, yeah, are we? Now that the trapdoor is, that's right. Now we have to move the agent up 2 blocks to set it free. Okay, so we've got move up by 1. So let's try the code as it exists right now. And it's not quite above the floor. So to help our agent out, I'm going to guess 2, Emma.
I think 2. Let's go with 2 and let's see what happens, Dan.
Okay. Running code. The coding agent is free. Now that only opens the green door, which is the easier path. Or you can talk to the agent again if you want to try opening the yellow door, which is the path that we're going to do today. So I am going to talk.
So students and teachers, this is now the perfect time to pause this and make sure that everyone has opened and closed that trapdoor, because this will be the key to getting your code agent ready to go for this digital escape room. So please pause here and make sure all your students have opened and closed the trapdoor. Now, it's time to code the skylight. It's really important to look up, follow the on-screen prompts, and use your agent to open and close the 4 trap doors.
Okay, so, and it's a good little subtle hint they've added here. The coding agent actually looks up, and there's a wee arrow that pops above its head to indicate that we should look up. So this is what we're going to code.
And look at those colored cursors, Dan. They weren't lying.
So let's open our coding agent again. The agent has just enough power to open the green door. If you can figure out how to open the skylight, the agent can charge up even more and open the yellow door. The included example is broken, so we're going to debug it. So let's see what it does right now. So it says open trapdoor, cursor move, cursor move. Let's see if I can sort that.
We didn't make it very far with that coding, Dan. One of the things I noticed is when it moved down in the yellow direction, it didn't open the door.
Trapdoor.
And students, maybe while you see, and Dan's going to let us know, you can actually code these challenges in different ways. So just like, you know, it does have the debugging, but that's the beautiful part about coding is you can actually achieve the same result by doing different code. So don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like Dan's, you can still be very successful.
Yeah, like most things in Minecraft, there are multiple pathways to success. And yeah, just as a note here, the cursor, the up, down, left, and right is color coded. So this it makes it easier for you to figure out which way it's supposed to move. All right, so I've got my code here and I'm going to try that and see if that works. Look at All
you
right,
go, Dan.
got it.
Puzzle solved. And students, if you ever got stuck, just a reminder that there's always the hints. And I love it. It says, wow, way to go. I've opened the yellow door for you now. Head through if you'd like, or if you really want a challenge, talk with me again. Now, we will do that because we're focusing on the yellow. So students, it is that time again. It would be great to pause this video until everyone has had a chance to open up the skylight and charges the agent. So pause here. Make sure you're looking up for the skylight and doing that coding challenge to open it up. Now we will be following the yellow path. Can you escape? I think you can. I know you'll do really well. So follow the yellow path and see if you can get out of the state escape.
Okay, so I'm going to follow the breadcrumbs here. And away we go. And one thing I will note, generally when I'm doing coding or coding debugging, I will have a notepad and paper here with me and a pen or a pencil all the time. So I might make notes as I go through and try to debug to see if, you know, it's just a good way of checking myself and checking my work as I go through to help me. Just another way of comparing what I've got on screen with what I'm working on in my head. All right. This house is filled with escape rooms. You will need to solve clues, puzzles, and fix code to make your way through. Press C to reveal the puzzle's code. Run the code. There's fix them. Okay.
Now, it says we got to keep our eyes out for some clues. And
Mm-hmm.
those particles are great hints. I know they always help me find the direction I need to go.
Yeah, and sometimes solutions will not be clear, so we do really have to keep a sharp eye out for things. All right, so okay, where are we?
So you can see Dan's looking around the room. We are looking for any hints. Ooh, I see some particles.
I see some particles there. Oh, and there's another page of the diary.
Ooh, the alchemy room. So as my journey, so that you'll find those diary pages throughout. But Dan, should we go to those particles?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So Dan has right clicked. So if you see those particles, it will be a right click on your keyboard or your mouse. I can't wait to see this first coding challenge.
Okay. Move the clay ball through the vent in order to reach the next section. Included example code is broken. Okay.
Well, let's see. Where is this little coding challenge, Dan? Oh, look
So
at
it's
that.
right behind us here. Okay. So I've got to move this, I think, up and around the gold block. So let's see. It says move 2, move left by 2.
And students, it might be worth it. Sometimes when I'm doing these coding challenges, I have like my little note and my little pen. Sometimes I make little notes on what I need my code agent to do. So Dad, tell us about the code you're doing right now.
So let's see. The clay ball is moving to the right and then it's moving back to the left. So it's not really going anywhere. So we need to, I think, change the numbers here and maybe add some more lines of block coding.
Dan, can you maybe zoom out a little bit so we can get a good view of this coding challenge? So I believe, if I'm not correct, that's our coal ball in the middle on the green. And we need to get it up and around. So Dan, should we maybe map out what we need to move it?
Yeah, so I'm going to say, and they've done a nice job here of using blocks where it's easy to identify the spaces that I'm going to need to move. So I need to move it 1, 2 to the right. So I'm just going to write
Okay.
that down, 2 right.
So we're
And
going to do
then,
2 right. And then are we moving up, Dan?
yeah, and then we're moving up 2, 1,
Okay.
2, moving up 2, and then we're moving over to 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, and then 1 down.
And Dan, I have to confess, when I first went into this digital escape room, and students, it's okay too, I wasn't totally sure what direction they wanted me to enter the vent. So the very first thing I coded, I actually moved my coal ball just directly to the left. Like, I tried that out first to see if it worked. And I realized my coding wasn't successful. So then I went back and realized that I needed to code my coal ball to go all the way around. So just so you know, just try out different it'll keep you track of your progress, but don't be afraid to try out different things.
Oh, I did something almost right. And I see I have forgotten to change that to down. Okay, let's try that now. There we go.
Way to go, Dan.
Oh, okay, that was cool. And another one's opened up. Okay.
And this one's neat. It looks like there's some plates. What I do, Dan, is when I see a new coding challenge that's open, I like to take a really good look at it. I know those, gold plates are, always kind of like the goalposts, but take a look at your challenge, hit C for code, and see what code they have there for you. Run it, and then we'll work on the debugging.
Okay, so what we'll do is, I guess we'll wait for something to happen as we move over those plates.
And Dan, let's just check out the instructions just to be sure. But it says move the clay golem forward 6 blocks. When the golem steps on a pressure plate, it will open a pit. Ooh, we got to make sure our code agent doesn't fall. Make it wait for the block to come back before moving forward. So I think, Dan, that might be hinting at like some pauses in our code. And it says the included example code is broken. Can you fix it? So it says debug the code by running it to see what it does. So Dan, should we run it just to see, and then we can make some adjustments? Oh, look at our coding. Sorry, buddy. Okay. Sorry that you fell, but don't worry, we'll code and we'll help you out.
All right, so I'm going to get fancy here. I'm going to use a loop, which lets me repeat the same action over a couple of times. So rather than going move clay golem forward and then wait and then move fit clay, doing that 1, 2, 3 times, I'll use a loop instead. And I like using loops because it helps me reduce the amount of potential errors that I might make.
And a looping can be more efficient. Dan, I have to confess, when I do block-based coding, my code sometimes is like a grocery list, and that's okay too. If loops, don't always work, as just know you can go either way, but loop can save you from doing, save you from putting additional blocks in your code.
Okay, so we're moving forward twice, and then we have to move forward 2 more times after that. So that's not part of the looping because we don't need to wait. Because just looking at what happened on that first pressure plate there in that first block, I imagine it's the same issue at the second pressure plate and block. And then we just need to move forward twice. And then that should work, I'm thinking.
All right. And maybe at this time, Dan, I want to give a shout out. Our students are doing an amazing job coding. Maybe I'll wait and see what your person does first. I love how your code agent pauses so they don't fall in. And Dan, way to go. You did the puzzle. I do want to give a shout out. There's another Emma joining us. great name. Love it. Nathan, we have a Jack, a Maya, Mohammed, a Sam. Oh, I absolutely love it. Keep us posted. Let us know how you're doing on all these challenges. And there's a really good question from Summer. And Dan, you know, when we entered this digital escape room, we picked up a diary. And Summer has a great question is what are we actually going to be doing with this diary?
The diary, I think it just provides you with some clues as you're going through from time to time. So it's good to see if you can find those lost pages and read up on what could be potentially coming your way in the in this escape room. So it's there to help assist you, and I think it's also there to tell a bit of the story behind what happened or what's happening to another character that has passed through here.
Perfect. So thanks for that, Dan. Students, we just want to give you a heads up. We have about 20 minutes of coding left. We hope you've been able to make it through some of these challenges. Riley, I love hearing about your progress in this escape room. And I love Miss Emily. She's just like, this is so fun. And you're right. It is so fun. There's so many magical things in this world. Cole, we are loving your design. So just a heads up with about 20 minutes of coding left.
Okay, looks like I can make something. Maybe there's an item list somewhere in this room that can help me. Okay, so I actually found that already because that was right. That was what opened up this here, the last challenge that we did. So it looks like we have to open that code again. Okay, so we're adding these different elements. So from this, I'm suspecting that I'm using this item list to add this number of elements. So one, what is that?
I think it'll say on our
one nether wart, one spider eye, or 3 spider eyes, and 2 phantom membrane.
Ooh.
So 1, 2.
Ooh,
So
I think
3
we
for that.
needed. Or Jan, I think it might even just be saying we needed one of each. But maybe we'll see.
Oh, well, yeah. We'll test it out and give it a go. See what happens. Oh.
Ooh, maybe we've added too many ingredients, but that's okay. We'll hit C for code. And
Too many ingredients. You called it.
you got a little crazy with the ingredients there, Dan. Let's adjust our recipe.
Okay, so maybe that's the sequence, not an amount. Maybe it's the sequence that they're being added to. Okay.
So maybe we'll just try one of each, and maybe it'll just work out. It's kind of like a mathematical equation. I love it.
Okay, let's try that. Oh, okay.
And I love it how it changes colors too.
Oh, something's happening here.
Oh, look at that. That's really enticing. Let's go check it out. It's saying enter the next room.
Oh, it floats me up.
And more particles.
That was very cool.
This room. Cole, you've really outdone yourself on this.
Okay, we've got some glowing particles. I'm just gonna have a quick look around and see if I can see any of those journal pages before I get too far. I can't get up there. So, okay, let's go and see what this code's asking us to do.
So again, Dan has right-clicked anytime you see out of that. And Dan, I think it's let some water out.
Yeah, so there's something happening here. Okay.
Well, let's see if we have some instructions. So it says the garden needs some more water. Well, yeah, why not? Let's add some more water. Use the cursor to break some of these damaged bricks to get more water flowing. And I think those damaged bricks are where we see some cracks in it there. They included example. So we'll check it out. So Dan has just run the code so we can see what we need to debug.
Okay. So it's not breaking all the right blocks. It did the first part of it okay, I think. So let's move over to the side here a bit more so I can see that.
And this is where those colored cursors are going to come into play. So it says you have your purple. I think that says purple by 1. So that one I think was good. And we braked it. And then yellow, which moves it right, was 4. I think that one was good too, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, the second one was okay. It's the third one that it didn't make it through.
And right now it has it moving by 4, down 4. But maybe we need to adjust that forward to a different number.
I think 3. No, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cursor move down 1. 2.
So move by 2, but I think we also have to move in another direction as well.
Cursor move to the left 1, and then break block. So that will do the trick there. Oh, and there's lights that light up to let you know that you've got it correct. Oh, but we've stopped.
Oh, we got one more at the bottom.
There's one more. Okay. All right, so I need to add another line of code from where I am. So I'm left here. So I need to move left or blue. I'm gonna go 1, 2.
And students, this is cool because you could do blue and then purple,
2.
But you could also do purple and then blue.
And then break block. Yeah, so your code could look completely different than mine depending on how you want to get to which block and which block to go to first. All right, let's try that. Maybe I got that right that time.
I love the magic in this escape room and seeing our progress. Let's see if it hits the last one. Oh, we did it! Way to go, Dan. Oh, I see some
I've got another one.
So
I need to do something else here. I go for a swim? Yes. Okay. Let's see here. Let's move off to the side. So I think I might have to fix something here.
In your water feature, Dan.
Oh, no. The water isn't reaching the garden. Fill in all the holes so the water can flow correctly. All right, so let's see. Cursor move. It's got it moving along.
And then instructions are again telling us that the code is broken. We need to debug it. And we just remind you students, see that yellow light bulb? If anytime you get stuck, click it for a hint.
I only got that far. Okay. So let's try move 1. So the first one was okay. Move 2 over. And then on this side, move 1, place block. Let's move by 1, place block. And let's see how far the code gets this time. I know there's another section there that I just want to see how we do. Sometimes it's helpful when you're running a longer code to run the first little bit of it to see how far it gets and if it does it correctly, and then worry about doing the next part after you've tested it. Okay, we got further that time.
So it looks like we just have 2 more holes to block in this water feature. And students, at this time, just about a 10-minute warning left for our coding.
So I need to move back. I think, can I do that? Okay. So let's move. Okay, blue. I've got to move blue now. And then I've got to move orange again. And then I have to press block. You know what? I'm going to duplicate this one. Save myself some time. Sometimes it's good to duplicate blocks, just because if you've already entered them, you're copying something potentially that you know that already works, as opposed to dragging a new one down and maybe creating an error. Okay, and place block. Let's see if that works. Oh, no, that was wrong. That was totally wrong. What did I do wrong there? Okay, so it's a long code here, so I can actually shrink this down a little bit.
And this is also good, students. Like, that's what coding is. It is troubleshooting. It's trying out different things. We can go in any order to block these. So basically, we need to like block these little sections so that the water doesn't spill out. We want to keep the water into this feature.
Okay, so the error happened after the last full block sequence there where everything was okay. So it was that just before the blue, and then okay. Okay, oh, okay. Because I dragged that blue one over, I did not enter a 1 in there. No, is it 1? No, I need to move 2 back. There we go.
Well, let's try it out. Let's hit run and let's see what happens. Oh, looking good.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And one more.
Okay.
Look at that. Another puzzle is solved. Now let's see what happens. I love this escape room because certain look at that. It has grown. And then I think that might be our pathway down.
Oh, yes, there's the bread. Oh, you know what? I totally missed that. I walked right by that diary page.
So it looks like you're getting a page for the different rooms. Now, Dan, can we read it? Because these diary pages are really neat. It says, Dear Diary, but this is the conservatory. As I made my way through the mansion, I discovered an old greenhouse. It was probably a lush garden in the past, but now only a trickle of water nurtures the plants here today. I know it was probably my imagination, but I could have sworn I saw something fly off into the bushes as I entered the room. Say what? Cole? What it may have been, I have no idea. So students, we need to be on the watch. There could be things flying out at us. So let's go up this pathway. It almost looks like these are mushrooms that have grown up. This is our pathway. And students, I have to confess, I actually fell off it my first time. So it's okay if you fall off it too. Just go back. See, I think Dan just fell off. You might fall off this pathway, and I love that. Just go back.
Having trouble here.
Dan's having a swim. It's okay. We're taking the scenic route, but we are going to climb up and see if we encounter another challenge. So just a heads up, we just have a few more minutes left of the coding. We hope that you're just having as much fun as we are in this incredible escape room.
That felt a little bit like playing Mario Brothers for the very first time back in the department store in 1986. Okay, let's see. We got another coding problem for us to solve here. Oh, it looks like there is some type of pattern to follow in this flower bed. Maybe the planters to the left and right are clues. Okay, so I guess I'm planting blue flowers, yellow flowers, red flowers.
And it looks like there's some hints on either side, Dan.
Yeah. So, and it shows what we've got there right now at that back panel. So see if we can replicate right across. Blue flowers along the top, yellow flowers in the middle, and red flowers on the bottom.
All right, well, let's make a
Okay.
beautiful garden. Should we run the code down just to see where we're at currently?
Because who knows, maybe sometimes it's already okay. Nope, that one did not, that one was not okay.
And I notice it's not planting flowers sometimes. So
Oh,
let's
was it?
see for code, and maybe we need to put some loops in, but I think we need to get some more flowers in this code.
So you know what? I'm gonna move all the code over here, and I'm gonna be adventurous and start from scratch and do some loops. So let's see here. How many do I have to move? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. So that's fine. So let's, which way are we going here? We're moving yellow. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this over here as the old code as my reference.
And I'm just going to give a shout out to Aaliyah. She's like, I'm getting better at these coding challenges.
That's awesome.
And I love that, because that's true, right? The more you encounter them, you kind of like build this toolkit of strategies for them, and you do kind of see some patterns. So I love it. And I love Emma Rose, or she's like, it's kind of hard, yet it's kind of easy. And students, I don't always get the code on my first try. But I love just, debugging. It's these just beautiful built-in puzzles.
And then we're moving back the way. And then, oh, right, planting the yellow one.
So Dan, because it looks like you are doing some loops. You're doing each flower about 4 times, but using your colored cursors to move around. And it looks like, are you doing the red flower now currently?
That's correct. I want to move yellow. So because the loop is doing the moving, that number for me. So the action inside that loop is only going to be a value of 1, because it's going to be repeated 4 times. And it'll plant the flower 4 times. And then it's important that I've got the cursor moving down outside of the loops, because I don't want to move 4 times down. I only want to move once down. So that is, let's give that a go.
All right.
I can tell I've miscounted here. It's not 4, it's 6. I think
okay.
I think my coding screen was over top of it there. So we're going to change that to 6, and that's going to solve that issue.
Good debugging, Dan.
Sometimes it comes to you quickly, sometimes it does not.
And students, we actually, I wonder, do you think it's 5 maybe, Dan? Because there's already, no, because we need 1 to start.
4, 5, 6. So what happened there? I'm going to try that again. Watch it really closely. 2. Oh, maybe it's because there's one already there. So I was just thinking like you could copy over top of it. So that is not the case. So we'll move 5. And then I'll have to move over again by 1 where we're not planting. So it's going to be a slightly more complex code than I thought. And then we're going to move down by 1, and then we're going to move over 5 times again, because I've got 1 at the end, so it's the same problem. And then I'm gonna duplicate
And
that
then
one.
maybe for our red one as well, because we have one red flower.
Oh, actually, it's not. Yeah, it'll move over one and then down. And then I think, yeah, we don't have to do it at the end because it's already got one there too. So it should.
Let's see how our code does. And students, we're just wrapping up our final minute of code here. We are just going to maybe just do one last debug, but that's okay, students. We hope you've enjoyed all the challenges. Some of you might even be further ahead than us in this escape room, and that is just fine.
Okay, I don't see
That
why
is
it's moving that
okay.
extra one. Why is it moving that extra one now?
Dan, not to worry. We're actually just going to put our coding on pause, and
Okay.
we love it. That's what happens with code is you just get so into it. So teachers and students, we encourage you to pause here right now until everyone has escaped, defeated the time agents, and secured the time orb. The rooms for you to go to are the attic, the alchemy, the conservatory, the laboratory, and the parlor. So if you've already escaped, congratulations. We're so proud of you. This is such a neat escape room. Dr. Brykowski, so cool. So our escape route today, we met a Minecrafter, we met Cole, we did the yellow path of the Dr. Brykowski's escape, and now it's maybe time to reflect on our adventure, because that's with coding. It's all about learning. We do want to celebrate your learning. There is a certificate. So even if you maybe didn't quite make it to the end like us, or maybe you make it to the end, we still want to celebrate your learning. So make sure you click Get Certificate. That will be a record of your progress today with this digital escape room. And this is also a great time to pause until everyone has accessed their certificate and closed up Minecraft and had enjoyed this hour of code. If you have chance another day, you can always come back. But our question today, sorry, excuse me, from what you were able to experience, what was the hardest escape room, the hardest room to escape from? And Dan will probably confess that he had the most trouble with the flowers, and that's okay. We're human.
I did.
We're not perfect. And Riley agrees that the flowers were the most challenging. And I have to confess, aside from my first blunder of not realizing the direction of the vent, the flowers I think were probably the trickiest code that we have encountered, and that's totally fine. Dan, anything you wanted to share about what maybe you found difficult?
Oh, it's definitely the flower one. That was definitely the hardest one so far. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one. So,
That's
I don't
what
know,
Dan
Emma.
will be.
What can I do next? Because I'm kind of stuck here.
That's okay.
Um,
Dan will
I
probably
guess
just be doing flowers for the rest of the day, and that's
I can. I
okay.
guess I'll click on that hint button that's there and see if that helps me.
Jack says the conservatory was the hardest. Cheyenne and Bryson, they also agree with the flowers. So, Dan, you are not alone. We didn't get to it, but Bryson says the skeleton, which just makes me want to dive into this escape room even further. So, Bryson, great job if you're on your challenges. And Sebastian says the food. So, there is a lot going on in this escape room, and Aaliyah says the ending. So Aaliyah, great job for you for making it to the ending. And our next question was, let us know about your strategy when debugging the code. Was it maybe adjusting the numbers, letting know about your decoding? Bryson, I am glad that you had fun today. I have fun today. I always have fun in these Minecraft rooms. But let us know about your strategies. And Summer says she enjoyed you helping show the different challenges, Dan. So thank you for that. Dan, what is your kind of strategy for debugging?
First off, is not to get frustrated. So try to remain calm, and that's not always easy. So make sure you maybe just take a little walk around the classroom, grab some water. Second thing I usually try is getting a second pair of eyes on it, and it's like, what am I missing here? And frequently as well, just going over what I've written down on the paper and maybe doing a little research. But I think certainly asking for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's no harm in doing that at all.
Yeah.
It's just gonna, try it first yourself. Be resilient about trying it yourself. But once you feel yourself, falling over that cliff edge and getting a little frustrated, then it's time to come and ask for help.
And don't give up. We didn't even maximize all those hints. And the final question was, what was the best part about this lesson? One thing that I love, I love doing the coding, but I just love how involved these rooms they are and how dynamic they are. And every time I go into this estate escape, I notice something different. So I absolutely love it. Let us know. Christopher mentions there was some pumpkins above the fireplace. Didn't notice. I love that. And Morton's fourth grade class, back to Florida, coding the butler to get through the maze. Mm-hmm. Woo! And these are some of the coding challenges we may not have seen yet. But
yeah, those are in the green one.
Oh, that's students. That's okay. Those are in the green one. But we're in yellow today, so make sure you check out the other ones. But you know what, Dan? Those flowers were a bit of a recurring challenge today. So that is okay. Now, students, we are out of time, and we are so sad to just end our time in this digital escape room. But we just want to say great work coding, everyone. And at this point, we're going to turn you back over to your teachers. We had a blast with you today, and we hope to see you again soon. Check in with your teacher for your next steps.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to go back, and I'm not going to let this plot of flowers defeat me. I'm going back because it's the most fun one we've encountered yet.
Bye, everyone.